Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our Friar Ties series. My name is Sarah Ferretto. I am the Director of Alumni Relations, and I'm from the class of 2003. We have an exciting week. It's a three-part series, an introduction to the School of Nursing and Health Sciences. Tonight is our Meet the Dean session, and tomorrow night we'll have an academic lecture by Deborah Levine, and on Thursday we have a great alumni panel of nurses. So thank you for joining us for our first session. The session will be recorded and a copy of the link will be sent to all participants after the session. We also ask that any questions for Dr. McInnis be sent through the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen. First, I'd like to introduce Brother Ignatius. Brother Ignatius Perkins is the interim nursing director for the School of Nursing and Health Sciences. As a leader in nursing education for more than 40 years, Brother Ignatius served as chair of the schools of nursing at Spalding University, the College of Mount St. Joseph, Aquinas College, and as dean of the College of Health and Natural Sciences at Spalding University. He also served as executive vice president of the National Catholic Bioethics Center in Boston, Massachusetts. In his religious community, he served as director of health services and founded the Center for Assisted Living in Washington, D.C. He has also served as director of administration and executive director of the Dominican Friars Healthcare Ministry of New York, as well as in many leadership positions in his religious community, as adjunct faculty and as a member of several professional nursing organizations. Prior to Providence College, Brother Perkins served as professor emeritus in the School of Nursing, Spalding University in Louisville, Kentucky, and a consultant in nursing education and healthcare ethics. Welcome, Brother Ignatius.
Thank you very much. It's a great privilege to be able to share this exciting vision of the School of Nursing Health Sciences at Providence College. So to open our session, we ask the Lord to bless all of you and your families, particularly as we face a winter storm coming tomorrow, that if you have to travel, you travel safely. So we say we today to give thanks to God unceasingly, that in receiving the word of God from hearing us, you will receive not a human word, but as it truly is, the word of God, which is now at work in you and all you who believe. We ask this through our Lord Jesus Christ, your Son, who lives and reigns with you and the Holy Spirit, one God, forever and ever. Amen.
Thank you so much, Brother Ignatius. We're truly lucky to have you as part of this program. Now I'd like to introduce you to Dr. Kyle McInnis, inaugural dean of the School of Nursing and Health Sciences. Dr. McInnis joined the PC family in December 2021 as the college began exploring the prospect of expanding academic programs in the health sciences, including nursing. Prior to joining PC, he served as provost at Johnson & Wales University, where he made a major impact on expanding the breadth of that institution's academic portfolio and established a research infrastructure leading to an influx of federal grants in the health sciences. He also led several successful accreditation initiatives, including one for JWU's graduate program in Physician's Assistant Studies and the Occupational Therapy Doctorate. Prior to joining Johnson & Wales, Dr. McInnis was the founding dean of the School of Health Sciences at Merrimack College in Massachusetts. There, he hired all faculty and professional staff and oversaw the construction and build out of 60,000 square feet of space to accommodate the offices, classrooms, and facilities necessary for the school's launch. Thank you so much for joining us, and please welcome our inaugural dean, Dr. Kyle McInnis.
Thank you very much, Sarah. I really appreciate that. And thank you, brother, for a wonderful blessing to start us tonight. Well, welcome, Friar family. Thank you so much for spending a short time with us tonight so that we can tell you what's happening in the new school. So as Sarah said, I've actually been here for just a short time, and it's been an exciting ride so far. I have had the opportunity, as Sarah said, to had started another school of nursing and health sciences at a different college, and was about 1.5 miles from here. And the opportunity at PC came so suddenly. And Father Sicard, who we'll talk about tonight, the president of the college, many of you know him very well. He calls this divine providence. It was meant to be. I met Father Sicard. He actually cooked me a wonderful meal at his home here on campus with Provost Sean Reed. And those of you know, Father Sicard is actually a gourmet cook, and that night started it all. And 3 weeks later, I found myself at PC. So it wasn't in my plan, but sometimes there's a higher reason. And I'm so fortunate and so thankful to work with such wonderful people. And we're excited to start this new school. So what I want to do tonight is to give you some background for those of you who don't know. Some of you probably know quite a bit, and some know very little about what's happening with the school. So we could take some time tonight to give you some of the details and then also answer some of your questions. So as Sarah said, if you have questions, feel free to type those in, and we'll get to as many as we can. And for those that we can't, feel free to email us and stay in touch with us through this really transformative time at the college. So when Father Sicard became president in the fall of 21, the Board of Trustees really challenged him to think big. And Father Sicard, who is, as you know, has been with the college in various capacities for decades and is just a beloved member and leader of this community, said, you know, the one thing I've always thought what's missing from PC is a school of nursing. And he said it aligns so nicely with our mission. And you can see a quote from him on this slide. Where the focus of care for others and respect for the dignity of every person and service to God and neighbor, it really aligns with who we are at PC and who you are as alumni. And so it's really Father Sicard's vision that we are here tonight. And he really has been an amazing leader. If you think about it, we've actually went from conceptualization to realization in about 10 months. We stood up, you know, a brand new school. So we're very excited. It's a lot of momentum here on campus to get this moving. So one of the things I wanted to start with tonight is just really kind of three talking points. You know, how will this be a PC experience? And the first thing I'll say is that the students who join us, either nursing or health sciences, will be PC students first, meaning their total experience in the liberal arts, in part of the community, the developing Western civilization curriculum, all of that is 100% intact. And then students will, again, be a PC student first, and then we overlay or embed what they will do in terms of their training to become licensed nurses and others that we'll talk about in health sciences that I'll explain tonight. So here's my three kind of take-home points right from the beginning. What will make this a PC experience? I think number one is that we have interwoven the Catholic mission and PC's Dominican heritage and our core values really in everything that we're doing. And we summarize that as we are educating and helping to form holistic caregivers. That's our mission. And that, again, aligns with the mission of PC. Number two, the liberal arts curriculum is ultimately our driving competitive force. Because that is where our future healthcare professionals will become critical thinkers, problem solvers. They will learn how to think. And that really is of the absolute essence of being a healthcare provider, just like you in your careers. So I think the liberal arts curriculum, we really are leaning into it. We'll talk about that in just a second with some exciting news about how we're integrating into the liberal arts. And then the third thing that I think will set us apart is we have a really strong emphasis on global and community public health and public health nursing. And that, I think, looking at both acting locally in our community, as well as having opportunities for our students to have a global perspective and cultural immersion in some of the things that they're going to be doing. So those, I think, are the three kind of differences, or if you will, or difference makers that I think will really help us to create a unique experience. We got an email from an alum very soon after announcing the school, and I just want to take a little quote from it. I don't know Megan Scully personally, but I loved her quote, so it made it onto this slide. And she said to us, "I'm thrilled for PC and the future compassionate healthcare graduates it will educate. I highly value my Dominican education, and I think it has made me a better nurse." And I think that's really, Megan summed it up, and how we will differ from some other nursing and health sciences program by really leaning into who we are at PC. You know, we've actually been producing fantastic, inspirational healthcare workers and healthcare professionals and executives for a long time, actually since the beginning of the college. Here's a slide with an example of 3 such impressive individuals. I think the difference now is that these people were able to find their path after graduating from the school. And now that we've created internally a school dedicated to healthcare and professional nursing, this will actually open the gates for more students who will be able to create their pathway. So we're very excited about our alumni, those that have found their way into healthcare. And we really will be leaning on you and asking for your feedback, regardless of kind of your background and how you got there. And even those that are in business and in education and other areas that you've gone on to help really create the direction of the new school. The next slide is just to take a moment of appreciation. And, you know, 50 years ago, it was a landmark time in the school or in the college where PC admitted its first women. So this was a transformative opportunity for the college that we celebrate and had celebrated recently to mark that anniversary. You know, I think about the students who are going to be coming in 6 months from now, very much like the first women at the college, they will also be pioneers. The very first class of students in a new school, never to happen again, right? A new school isn't really launched that frequently around college campuses, and there's only one chance to be first. And we're excited that this group will be joining us, and they're the next generation that will fulfill their purpose in the health field. So how do we get here? And again, in a period of about 10 months or so, we went from a dream and a vision from Father Sicard to a reality. And the very first step, again, kind of guided and challenged by our very talented, in their own right, board of trustees, really said, this is a great idea, but it needs to make sense, right? It needs to make good business sense for the college. There's a lot of things we can do. Why nursing? Why health sciences? And why a new school? And so we took that challenge and embarked on a feasibility study. We hired an outside consulting firm, and basically it looked at the market, it looked at opportunities post-graduation, it looked at what we're going to need for faculty and other areas, and even where are we going to put this thing? Being here in the middle of Providence or North Providence, and what's the whole plan for facilities and that type of thing. And so I actually have a copy here, little light reading. It's a 94-page feasibility study. It took us about 6 months to complete. And basically came down to what you see on this slide. The conclusion is that there is an unprecedented market opportunity. As all of you know, we're at a critical time in healthcare. The need is everywhere. It's here in Rhode Island. It's in your state. It's in your city and town, in your community. We do not have enough nurses. We do not have enough healthcare professionals in general. And for PC at our prestigious institution to be able to address that and come really in a very heroic way to be able to further educate our students to address this is really it's historic, to be honest. The second, as I mentioned, the conclusion here is we have a real opportunity, again, to align with the mission of the college, service to others, holistic healthcare, the emphasis on human dignity and caring. And that was really brought out in the feasibility study. And then lastly, again, going back to our liberal arts and really using that as our bedrock. So the liberal arts, I want to just dive into this really quickly, but it's so important. And we are so grateful for our amazing faculty here at Providence College, from the sciences, from the humanities, from the arts. Everyone has really stepped up and helped us to create an unprecedented, amazing curriculum. We're doing some cool things. And you can take a look at this slide. We are fully integrated into the DWC and liberal arts program and core requirements. We have created or are creating specialty courses like in healthcare ethics, special chemistry classes and biology geared to specifically for the health professions. We're really excited about a brand new medical Spanish minor that's done with our colleagues and in language arts and world culture, and those opportunities will also involve global immersions and on, right? You can look at the slide. There is a lot of work. I actually met with interim dean Joan Branham today, and we were talking about even building upon the current collaborations that we have across the campus. That's what makes this exciting. This is not something that's being done in a silo. This is really about embedding the new school into the fabric of Providence College. In addition to all this excitement on campus, we also have worked really hard to build out partnerships off campus. As you know, in a healthcare field, clinical experiences are going to be really integral in terms of the education of our students. So here you have a number of people like Mr. Steve Morano, who I call Mr. Rhode Island. He's so connected. He's the Associate Vice President for Government and Community Relations. And through his network, he's really helped us to make connections with CEOs and presidents and chief nursing officers around Rhode Island and around the region. And here's an example. You can take a look at this slide. Just wonderful partners that are really can't wait for our students to be able to provide work and ultimately a job pipeline into some of the great things that they're doing. So it's funny that when we were talking to the presidents in my first couple months here, they really had two questions for us when we were done. It's when can you start and how many students can you send us? So they're chomping at the bit. They can't wait to get these collaborations going, but we're in wonderful shape with the clinical partners that are going to be joining us. I mentioned some global experiences. This is so in line with our vision for what this program is, and that is healthcare and health equity across the globe. Here in Rhode Island, in the state of or in the city of Providence and the state of Rhode Island, in the region, and then ultimately across the United States and globally. So we're working really hard to create some new opportunities. Some of the things we're excited about, we're going to launch our first program internationally for the nursing and the new health science students. We do more with health policy management, I'll talk about in a minute. But we are launching a summer global health program in London as a short Maymester experience. We got a handful of students that are going to be kicking that off. We are also exploring other similar types of short-term and full-term study abroad in places across the globe. And some of this aligning with our Dominican community in healthcare in Costa Rica and South America and in other places, the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico. So we're hard at work making sure that our students really are going to, as part of their education, have a global perspective. Health sciences, I've been talking a lot about nursing, and I just want to pause for 30 seconds and mention our health sciences program. I'm actually a health scientist, trained and spent most of my career in the Boston medical system. And health sciences is really a very broad platform where students might be interested in all sorts of different areas in health in addition to nursing. So things like physical therapy and occupational therapy, physician's assistants, a big area for our students that are interested in. The beautiful part of the health sciences new program is that students are going to get all of their prerequisites and all of the training that they need to launch into graduate and licensing programs. They won't have to search other colleges and universities as they currently sometimes have to do to get what they need. It'll all be baked right into our major. In addition, they will also have great internships and experiences and be highly employable directly upon graduation. Areas like clinical research, health promotion, public health, particularly in our health policy and management program, and healthcare administration. So health sciences is absolutely booming. And this is actually, I think, has surprised some people. We're getting actually more interest, or as much interest, in the health sciences as we are in nursing. So I'm just looking at the clock, and I want to make sure we stay on time and that we have time for your questions. So I'll try to go somewhat quickly here. But I wanted you to see kind of how the new school is shaping up. And so this is a schematic that shows, kind of on the left, we have a new Department of Nursing. And that Department of Nursing will have a new program, a BSN, which is called the Bachelor's of Science in Nursing. And within the next year, I don't want to say a year, but probably the next 2 years, we'll begin our work in an accelerated Bachelor's of Nursing. And that's typically a 5-year program. So you get a degree in one area and go on another year and a half or so, 18 months, and actually become a licensed nurse. So it combines kind of 2 areas of study. It's a very popular pathway, second career pathway. And then eventually we'll begin developing our advanced practice, kind of nurse practitioner types of programs as well. So that's the Department of Nursing. We're going to take about 50 students initially, and then roughly about 75 students a year. On the other side is our Department of Health Sciences. I just kind of gave you an introduction to what the BS in Health Sciences is. Here you have your future physician assistants and physical therapists and nutritionists and exercise scientists and public health specialists, those types of things. The thing that's really fantastic here too is we've have a very kind of prestigious health policy management program that's been around for decades and has amazing, some of you are graduates from that program. And this program aligns so nicely with with the new school that we actually organizationally moved the program into the new school. So we actually have a program right now in the new school, and that is under the heading of the health sciences. So same thing, about 50 students to start, 75 students or so a year in the new health sciences. So what's going to happen is that this is on top of Providence College incoming freshman class. So these are additional 50 to 75 nurses, additional 50 to 75 health sciences students. So as we like to say, the pie is getting bigger. Providence College enrollment will expand. And then this again shows you kind of how we will do that. In addition to the students, we also are hiring faculty, and I am very pleased tonight to announce, and you may have seen the press release, we just hired our new director of nursing, the inaugural chair, Nancy Meadson, who's actually a dean at Endicott College north of Boston. She actually wrote the book on global health nursing, and that she is well known for, and has really amazing experiences taking students to different countries to have immersive global health types of experiential learning. So she fits so beautifully. She's a wonderful person, and we can't wait for her to start this July. So she'll lead that department that I just showed you in nursing. And some of you may know Dr. Deborah Levine. If not, you can hear her speak tomorrow in the webinar series. And she is the chair of the other department. She's been here for 13 years. She's a trained historian of medicine at Harvard, and she's done wonderful things. And her leadership was apparent to me on day one, and I've actually promoted her to associate dean. So this summer she'll move to associate dean, and one of our senior faculty will become chair of that program. So as you can see, we're in great hands. We've got a lot of talent that will lead this new school, with talented faculty and talented people that we're bringing into the fold. Just for 1 minute, our team, Raul Fonts, the Associate Vice President and Dean of Admission, I may have messed that title up a little bit, but Raul and his team are just, as those of you who know or have experience here, sending a son or daughter or sibling or someone to PC, you know how impressive our admission team is. Well, it won't surprise you then to hear what happened when we opened the doors to this school. We got approval on September 12th by the state board for nursing. By early December, we had over 1,000 applications for early decision and early action. And as Raul said, we'll say the quality of the students is through the roof. Average GPA, a 3.8 out of 4.0, an 8.53 strength of curriculum out of a 10.0, and just really impressive students. So as excited as we are to get the new faculty here and to get all these things going, we're really excited to get this group of students here. It's a highly competitive entry, as you can see, because we're keeping the numbers quite modest. And that means that really the top students are the ones that will be forming the new class. So overall, we've had over 1,300 applications, and boy, they're impressive. And I want to again recognize Raul Fonts and his team for the tremendous, miraculous work they've done in such a short period of time to recruit this class. We're still working at it. We still have to compete against, some other schools to get them to sign on the bottom line, but we're feeling really good where we're at. So that brings us to the last part of the presentation, is where we're going to put all these students and the faculty and have these great laboratories and curriculum. And so I want to walk you through that. This is super exciting. Those of you might recognize that building. We could quiz you here, but that is the Feinstein building. And I think I'm new, so I don't know the history like you do, but I am told that was also at once called Stevens Hall. And we are actually renovating the 4th floor while we build a brand new building. But while construction is happening in the fall, the new class will be coming in. We need to be prepared. So we have this kind of swing space or interim space, and this will happen in the fall and the spring, and then the following fall. So 3 semesters, the incoming class and next year's incoming class will take their initial courses like anatomy, introduction to health professions, or introduction to nursing, and a couple other classes in this new space while the other space is being built. Otherwise, during freshman year, the students are all through campus, right? They're in the new beautiful Ruane Center for the Humanities. They're in the science building. You know, they're everywhere, just like any other PC student. But there's a couple courses that we're going to need that will be in the new building. So super nice. John Sweeney, who was ultimately the mastermind of campus planning, and his team have done an amazing job kind of making this happen. So while we're there, during the first kind of 18 months, we will then start construction on a new building. And so this is a map that comes from John. Again, John is the senior vice president for finance here at the college, and again, kind of the mastermind of space planning. And the purple represents, if you haven't been on campus in a while, or if you have, you know that there's a lot of changes that have been occurring through the years. And that represents all the areas that have had at least one or more major construction projects. What you notice is down in the lower campus, also called the East Campus. So where the arrow is, that actually would be kind of parallel or perpendicular, I guess, to Eaton Street. So Eaton Street would come up. You see the new Shanley Hall down here on the bottom, that's in construction. And the Eaton Street gate is right here. This whole area is really the area that represents the next opportunity to modernize the campus. So the circled building is Fennell Hall, and that really is where the new building will occur. So Fennell Hall would be, it's going to be taken down this summer. The new foundation for the new school will be put in. Now, Fennell actually has I'm sure many people know a lot more about this than I do, but you know it has a wonderful history and serves an amazing purpose for us currently. A lot of singles are there, single units and so forth. So there's another plan for how that will be distributed through the campus. And our Vice President of Student Affairs, Dr. Stephen Sears, is working on that as well. But that's where it's going. That's the new building, or the location for the new building. It's going to be about as long as the Fennell building and about twice as deep. So it's a big building. But this is the rendering of the new School of Nursing and Health Sciences. We're super proud of this. We are working with the architectural firm SLAM, which did the Ruane building. They've done the science building, and many other projects on campus. So it's a 5-story building. It is about 100,000 square feet. You're seeing the front of this here on the quad side. I can give you another view so you can kind of get oriented. We should probably have a quiz and try to name these buildings, but you'll do better than I will. But these are the steps to the Smith Center for the Arts. This is Howley Hall, and then over here would be the McCarthy Hall or dorm. And then down in this area again is where the new Shanley residence dorm is going as well. So you can see that this will bring a major kind of hardscaping, landscaping, really change the face of that whole area of campus. And we think bring a lot of the students down into this area and kind of spread people out across campus. Well, I'll tell you what's in here, but I want to point out one thing. Down in the corner here is kind of windows on both sides. You enter from over here, but we're actually going to have a new chapel that'll actually be part of the building. Again, aligned so nicely with, again, what we're focused on in the new school. And so Father James Cuddy, the Vice President for Mission and Ministry, is really working with Father Bolger and others to figure out exactly what this should look like. But we're excited that will further make that tie and make that connection between our mission and ministry, the new health sciences and nursing, and aligning again with PC. So it's quite a building. Here you see the backside. It kind of has a look like a front side if you look at it that way. So this is more coming in on the Eaton Street gate. Wonderful windows, and the bricks pick up the brick architecture of the other buildings in this area. So our colleagues at SLAM have done a phenomenal job. It's always tinkering and a work in progress, but they're moving at warp speed to get this developed. It's interesting, if you go back, the glass is if you are on the upper floors, the view is going to be phenomenal. You'll actually look down onto the Capitol building into downtown Providence. So it's pretty exciting. This is brand new. This is a quick kind of get a feel for the kind of fixtures and, you know, the wood and the colors and the brightness of what the new building will look like inside. You can see there'll be a cafe. That's a 100-seat classroom there. There'll be a lot of hangout space for students, a lot of gathering space. So this again, so on this side would be towards the parking lot. Now we're down on the lower level, and you can see a lot of natural light. And in fact, if you come over and make this turn here, this is a 2-story atrium to the first floor. So we call this lower level. But the first floor light from the quad side would come down onto the lower level. So again, it will not feel or look at all like a basement. It'll look like a first floor, even though it's lower level. So if we take the stairs up, this is going to be on this side. At ground level will be level 1, and that's quad side. And then you can see just a lot of natural light, wood fixtures and finishes, lots of glass. It looks like you're looking out. It doesn't have kind of what really you would see, which would be the quad. And then there would be lots of gathering spaces and social areas for students out on the grass. So it kind of stops here, but inside this is really where the magic happens. And we've got really wonderful types of spaces. And I'll finish my time with you the next 2 minutes here and kind of give you a feel for that. What we've really emphasized is supportive learning. And that's the feel that you're going to have. It's beautiful architecture, but the real lovely part of this is that we are going to engage students and engulf students in supportive learning. So there's some very exciting things that are happening here. We're working with Mr. Greg Waldron and his team. Greg is the Senior Vice President for Advancement, and the OIA staff. And we got some things that are super exciting here. We have state-of-the-art technology, and those of you might know the word simulation or high-fidelity simulation, but these are computer chip-controlled mannequins that have a blood pressure and can breathe and have respirations and heart rates and all those things, and it allows students to practice and actually make your mistakes on these mannequins. and that's the whole idea. Build your confidence and then integrate that with real world training that they'll get at our clinical partner site. So really cool stuff. The supportive environment is second to none. We will have integrated into the building will be a student resource center. So advising and all of that, and we tie into the great resources that we already have at PC, but these are specialized resources right within the school. One of the things we've been talking about that I'm excited about is these mindfulness suites. We all know the stories of burnout and stress and really intense intense work that happens in healthcare. We want to work with our students and build up their resiliency. We want to build up their ability to use mindfulness as a tool in their own toolbox for their own self-care. And so we've actually built kind of like mini spas, if you will, or quiet rooms. But these will be a part of this overall kind of caregiving that we will provide for our own students. And then makerspace and research space, we'll have tremendous research labs and other things. And then this is just more of the technologies. One of the big advances right now over the last several years has been virtual dissections and virtual anatomy. And so both the health sciences students and the nursing students really will have the best of the best, where talk about an immersion experience. You can actually go inside of a heart. You put on the goggles and you actually become part of an immersive world. You can walk around and actually see it and have perspectives that just weren't available, certainly not when I was taking anatomy and physiology and some of these other things. So it's really quite remarkable, and we look forward to seeing you on campus. I would love to give you a tour, and we'll put the goggles on you and you can have your own experience and see what the students are doing. This is my final slide. I just, we talked about the collaboration with mission and ministry, the collaboration with the liberal arts program. We're working with everyone. And I will tell you the opportunities to work with athletics, we have a national brand in our athletics. Well, health sciences really, there's a tremendous opportunity to work in athletics. And so Steve Napolillo and I have been talking, and Provost Sean Reed and Father and others, about having a marriage between science and health sciences and academics with athletics and bringing them together. So things like an Institute for Human Performance, and bringing to the athletic stage the latest and greatest in technologies. And so there's some programs around the country. I think with our athletics program, we have the potential to be really distinctive and do something exciting in the exercise and nutrition, the sports performance, the mental aspects, psychological aspects of performance and health. So keep an eye on this. This is something that we're dreaming about right now. We're kind of plotting in the background and to be developed further as we go on. So I'm at the end of my time, and I'm going to invite Bob Ferreira to come on camera. Bob is a great partner. Bob is part of our team now. We're so thankful. Talk about Mr. Rhode Island. I think he goes beyond Rhode Island. I've never seen anyone with a photographic memory of our alumni than what Bob has. But Bob, I'm going to turn this over to you.
Great. Thank you. Thank you very much, Kyle. And thank you for this great presentation. I know that I've seen it a few times, and every time I see it, I get more and more energized. And I think I speak for all of the alumni community out there for this great energy. I want to take this time now, just first of all, to thank my colleagues in institutional advancement, especially the alumni relations team, for helping us put this program together. We really, really appreciate it, and we hope that we're getting the word out to everyone. We're going to take give Kyle a few questions here that we got in the question and answer section. So Kyle, I'm going to start with our first question. Can you speak a little bit about how the nursing and health sciences programs will impact the local community here in Rhode Island?
Yeah, thank you, Bob. And before I jump into that, I don't know if Catherine Hippolyte McManus, also an alum, is on camera, but if not, let's get her on camera, unless she's got her feet up on the desk somewhere at home. Catherine is also part of our team, and like I said, an alum, and her husband's an alum. And I just wanted to recognize her and thank her. There she is. Hi, Catherine.
Hi there. How'd you know my feet were up on the table?
We know each other really well. But thank you, Catherine, for organizing with Bob this session tonight. A lot of these slides are Catherine's talent and creativity. So we're super excited about how we're going to impact the local community. One of the slides that, if you recall, had a list of partners. We've focused really intensely on not just our acute care hospitals, which are locally, but all places where nursing occurs. And Brother Ignatius will tell you, over 80% of nursing occurs in healthcare outside of hospitals. So our public health students, our nursing students, they will be in, and some already are, in long-term care facilities, in places like Clinica Esperanza, community health centers. We have a partnership with the Pawtucket Housing Authority. So our students are going to be dispersed throughout the community every day, and bringing that talent, that Friar talent, to our community on a daily basis. It's amazing.
Great. Thank you, Kyle. And I'm actually going to jump around here because there's one other question that kind of relates to what you just answered. And how are we going to be able to keep our Providence College nurses in Rhode Island? Have we thought about that?
Yeah, that ultimately is what our clinical partners want to see too. Well, we know that a lot of you who we're speaking to tonight stay in the Rhode Island area. I don't think we can go too far without our PC gear on and not get a Go Friars, right? So I think naturally, we are going to be bringing talent to this area, and some will go back, to Connecticut or New York or Massachusetts, which is our biggest draw, and that's all good too. But Father Sicard is really very interested in having incentives, perhaps free graduate tuition, among other things that we're exploring, for some service back, for staying in the region for some period of time. So we're working on that now.
Great. This question asks a little bit more, to ask you to elaborate a little bit more on something that you mentioned earlier. Can you speak to a health sciences degree and what education after a bachelor's degree would look like for various professions?
Yeah, thank you for asking that. Whichever alum did. Again, my background, I have a PhD in health sciences from Boston University. I spent my whole career in academic medicine doing research, and I ran a preventive cardiology program at Boston BU Medical Center for about 10 years. And so one of the areas of health sciences is prevention. And that's the area that I was in. And that goes for everything from promoting health, community health education, but the other area too is rehabilitation. We call that secondary prevention, and that is for everything from sports physical therapy to geriatric populations and balance training, occupational therapy, speech and language pathology, nutrition. It's so wide open. That's why, again, our students are going to be in such a great position when they graduate with a bachelor's in health sciences. They can either immediately go to work in a lot of different areas, but if they want to become a licensed health scientist, so in one of those, a PA, for instance, you need a license. Everything they need will be completed, and they can go from their senior year right into their graduate program from the health sciences. So it's a really exciting opportunity for the college and for our students.
Mm-hmm. Will the School of Nursing and Health Sciences be offering any certificate programs or anything that would not be matriculating, so to speak?
Yeah, another great question. We're really looking at that with the provost right now, because we're getting, we had a call this week with Eleanor Slater Hospital, and we were talking about that with the serious need for mental health specialists. And so absolutely, certificate programs, programs geared for working professionals that are in the field, and upskilling and reskilling in those areas is something we will probably start with.
Sounds great. Will the PC nursing program be accredited?
Thank you. Great question. So I'm going to steal Brother's lines here. So he would tell you there's two things. There's approval and accreditation. Approval is what you need to graduate from an approved program in order to get to be eligible to get your nursing license and practice nursing. We are 100% an approved program. We were unanimously approved on September 12th. There's a continuation process that will occur, but that to me as a parent or someone considering going into a brand new program, you want to go in and you need to go into an approved program, and we are an approved program. So think about an approved program matching up with being able to take the NCLEX and practice, become a licensed practicing nurse. Accreditation is more for the entire school. We're obviously an accredited college from NECHI. We will also go up for accreditation specific to the nursing program, and that will occur during the third year when we have kind of the full complement of courses ready and that type of thing. So Brother Ignatius has done all the preliminary work. We will have the gold standard accreditation during year 3.
That's great. And what would a typical clinical placement look like for our students?
Yeah, so I don't know if there is a typical one. I think the nice part is our students are going to be doing so many different things. You know, they might be delivering a baby and, you know, in an OB, you know, in Women and Infants Hospital, where one of our alum is the president. They might be in med surg one day. Another student might be down the road at, you know, as I mentioned, Clinic Esperanza or one of our community health centers. Another one might be across the street at a nursing home or long-term care facility. So they're going to be everywhere. You know, another one might be with a school nurse, you know, at a local high school or elementary school. So I don't think there is a typical. So I'm going to stick with that answer.
That's great. I have a really good one here, and it must be coming from somebody who's highly interested in wanting to know, has all the funding been raised for the fundraising been done for the school? And what would they do to help? What could they do to help?
Oh, well, let's stay on the line for a long time.
I know
on
this
that
is
one.
good. We didn't even plan this one.
Let me say this, Bob, and you know our alum, and I love our alum. I can't believe the generosity. I really can't. I've never been in a place with such a amazing alumni. And again, I'm not buttering up because we're talking about funding here, but I have been just blown away at how generous our alum are. And so we've done incredibly well under Greg Waldron's leadership, and our OIA team is second to none. So we've gotten tremendous endowed scholarships. We've gotten just all sorts of tremendous support, but we're new. With that said, you know, we're putting up, you know, $100 million building, but within that, there's everything from, you know, naming a door to naming an entire suite. And then, you know, we want to continue to make sure that all of our students have access to the types of opportunities and not be challenged based on their ability to, you know, go to a Maymester experience, you know. So there's special things depending on what you're interested as alum. We would love to talk with you, and I can guarantee you will be fulfilled, because the difference you will make, especially with a startup, you know, any type of help that we get makes a major difference to us as we're getting this thing off the ground.
That's great. And we have one final question here. We have someone asking a little bit about the tours on campus, and can they come anytime and visit and see the place?
We hope so. We hope you will.
Yeah.
We're you know, we can't wait to show it off. So a lot of that is really driven through the admission team. They got it down to a science, and they just a call, an email, anything like that, you'll be plugged in. We love it when you can come up and see us as part of your visit to campus. So, you know, we'll always take a phone call, and if we can be available, we want to be part of that and get to know as many of our students. And I love meeting the parents as well. So absolutely love to see you on campus. And I guess, Bob, we're gonna be doing some things this summer too, right?
Absolutely, yeah. We will be doing a presentation at Reunion Weekend coming up on June 9th through the 11th during that weekend. So anyone who has a class year that ends in 3 or 8, please come back to campus and celebrate. We will also be doing a few other programs once the fall comes, part of homecoming weekend. And by that time, we'll already have our first class here. So you'll be able to meet and engage with our students. So more to come, definitely more to come on this. Well, Kyle, that's it for the questions that we have here. And I want to thank you once again for this great opportunity and for educating all of us on, this great future for PC and the changes that are coming. I know that we're all really, really excited about this. And for those of you who are in the virtual world, the buzz and the energy on campus, like Kyle mentioned earlier, is really phenomenal. Everybody is super, super excited about what's happening here. So once again, I want to thank my colleagues in institutional advancement, especially the alumni relations team. I also want to thank my colleagues in the events team here for all of their help in putting these events together. So thank you very much. And as we mentioned earlier, we have 2 more programs this week. Tomorrow we will have a program done by Dr. Levine, who is from our health policy and management and health sciences team, titled Hospitals in the American Healthcare System. And on Thursday, we will be putting the human and humanities, PC Nurses Today. We're joined by 4 alumni who have various degrees from Providence College, and we'll learn about their journey and how their humanities education that was steeped in, the Catholic and Dominican influence here has definitely played a role in their professional work. So we hope that you'll join us. The link is available on the website. And again, we want to thank you. Please, as Kyle mentioned, please feel free to come back anytime and give us a call if you just want to see the new area when it comes here, or if you have any further questions, we'll be happy to get back to you. So again, thank you, everyone. And thank you, especially Kyle, for your time today.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Thanks
Stay
for
safe,
spending
everyone.
time. Thanks for spending time with us. Go Friars.
Go Fries. Stay safe, everyone. Stay warm. Good night.
Good night.